Welcome everyone to our class today. Today is Monday, November 9th. This is Unit 3, Day 2. Remember, we are talking about problem solutions. As far as homework, all of you should be submitting your narrowed topic relating to poverty, our lesson from last time. I will go over your most specific question about poverty and give you some feedback on whether or not it would work for a 5 to 7 page research paper for a college class. For our lesson today, I'd like all of you to get out your academic notes. Remember I said every few days we're going to go back to our ePortfolios. Up to this point, all of you should have signed up for Digication. You should have a welcome page done. Today we're going to talk about the second page, goals and outcomes. After we do that, we're going to move into another topic, and our topic today will be media bias. So if you look at this slide, you'll notice that there are a couple of links. As you create your goals and outcomes page for your ePortfolio, there are 2 resources here that will help you, and also the content that's on this slide. The first one, in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a link that takes you to Salt Lake Community College ePortfolio, how to put one together. If you start at about 1 minute 40 seconds, the presenter will discuss what goes on your goals and outcomes page. If you look at this page, you can see that I would like you to set your goals and outcome page up in 3 categories: your educational goals, personal goals, and professional goals. And as you do so, I'd like you to think in the next 10 years, what are some of the things that you would like to accomplish with each of those goals? You'll also notice on here, there is a link to Salt Lake Community College's learning outcomes page. Those 5 learning outcomes are supposed to actually be on this somewhere on your goals and outcome page, especially if you plan to go to Salt Lake Community College. So go to that link and you can copy the text or the content for the Salt Lake Learning and Outcomes, then create a text box on this page of your ePortfolio and add those learning outcomes at the bottom of your goals and outcomes page. Remember, your ePortfolio will be your final for this class. Of course, it's not due in the next few days, but keep working on your ePortfolio so that it becomes a fun experience rather than a horrible last-minute project. Last time, we discussed the word poverty as a social issue. Today, I would like to discuss media bias. Early in my life, I wanted to become a journalist. It was always, I was a school newspaper editor in high school. I took several journalism classes at college, and I loved that field. In the back of my mind, I always had that as a potential goal of a career choice, but it didn't happen. But anyway, I've still been fascinated by the role that media plays in presenting news and how it has changed drastically, especially since social media has become so prevalent. So we'll use this topic as a way to discuss social issues and learn a few things. Now, the first thing, the skill I want to focus on today is understanding what the word synthesize means. I think I talked to you about this word in one of our previous lessons. If you look on the right-hand side, you'll see a triangle. This is a famous theory put together by Mr. Benjamin Bloom, I think in the 1950s, and it's still used a lot today, but what it does is it breaks down different types of thinking that takes place in the world and particularly in education. At the bottom of the chart, the easiest type of thinking is knowledge, where it's just a recall information. And then as you go up the chart, it's actually, if you were to draw an imaginary line above the word application and analysis, those bottom three are considered lower level thinking skills, whereas analysis, synthesis, and evaluation are upper level thinking skills. Your paper number 2 was an analysis essay, so it is a higher level thinking skills. Your research paper will be a synthesis essay, which is even a more complex thinking skill than analysis. Part of your assignment for this lesson is to practice taking more than one source and putting it together into one document. The image on the right hand or on the left hand side of the page illustrates that. If you think of each of those wired objects, they could be representative of different resources that we find. And then ultimately you come up with something brand new with all of the energy from the different resources that's put together. So with that in mind, I want to give you some background information to the topic of media bias. When I put this lesson together in the summer, it happened that there was a major news story that took place while I was working on this lesson. The New York Times has always been known as a leading newspaper, and they prided themselves on objectivity. One of their editors at the time, his name was Bari Weiss. She had a lot of power at the New York Times, but she found herself being stifled. Her voice was being cut off because her views were a little bit different than some of her colleagues. If you look over these 4 topics or these titles, they come from different news resources in July where they covered her story. She chose to step away from a really prestigious job. She resigned because she felt that her colleagues and the institution of the New York Times had become, rather than objective, had taken on the role of presenting one side of data. She wrote a letter as a resignation letter, beautiful open letter. Because this is a writing class, I want you to pause the video and click on this link as you're reading it. She identifies what she felt were major flaws within the New York Times. Now, keep in mind, this is an institution that has been around longer than any of us. Yet she takes it on and exposes it to any kind of a reader of what was happening behind the scenes. Plus, she writes it in such a beautiful way. So I'm not going to take the time to read it to you, but I do want you to learn a little bit about what's happening behind the scenes with media bias so that you can do the activity later on in our lesson. The next thing with this slide, there is a link to a video clip of Walter Cronkite. He was the news anchor when I grew up, and he was always respected by his colleagues for being fair and objective in the way he reported the news. This is a short video clip. It's about 3 minutes long. I want you to pause and listen to him talk about a news issue and listen to the difference of the way he's presenting a story as compared to the way Bari Weiss tells us what's happening behind the scenes at the New York Times dealing with stories. There's a quote here that he wrote. He said, "The profession of journalism ought to be about telling people what they need to know, not what they want to know." Think about journalism today. If you turn to any news organization, we usually filter to the ones that follow our belief system. And those news anchors, those journalists are catering to those viewpoints. And so if we watch those specific stations only, we really become polarized in our way of looking at issues facing our country. In your packet, you have a handout that looks like this. And in the class, I'm actually going to be reading a bunch of news agencies and letting the students guess where they fall in, whether they are a left or liberal site, leans left, whether they're more objective like Walter Cronkite, whether they lean right towards conservative views or extremely right. Unfortunately, those of you at home, I'm not there to read all of them, and this only lets me tape for 15 minutes, so I can't go over each of them with you. So you get the lovely opportunity of copying that on your slide. They will actually be given all of those terms, but I'm putting them out of order to see if they can recognize agencies and how they cater their news. Also read on the bottom the teacher's notes. I've talked about fake news, which we hear all the time today. In class, we are doing an activity, and so unfortunately you're going to have to do this at home, but it is part of your assignment. So in our class, each group is going to have 3 people. And first of all, they're going to identify what is fake news. And then they're going to put that definition on the board. Then we're going to discuss it. I want you to think about what is fake news at home. Then what I would like you to do is, in class, I am dividing up these different groups. They take the students to different articles. And within the article, the different members are going to have a role to look at the publication, the author, learn a little bit more about the author, provide additional sources, and complete a chart that you will be able to access in just a minute. For you guys at home, I'd like you to actually just pick a group on your own. It takes you to a different article. Then at home, depending on what class you are in, I would like you to put your name in one of the bottom boxes so that you're not taking up space that some of the group members. So you're going to be given, part of your homework assignment is filling out this chart. If you click on the link and you are using a Jordan District site, it will allow you to open up an editable, not edible, but being able to edit, I should say, an edit Google document that you can decide how fair or biased the news article is and why. It's pretty self-explanatory with each article, but your points will be given on how detailed you fill out those 5 columns, particularly the last column. Then for your homework, because we have just completed an election, I would like you to pick 2 of the websites that were on slide 10 and look for a topic relating to the election that's the same topic on 2 different types of sites. And then you will type 2 paragraphs that this will end up being about a page to a page and a half. It says a half a page on each, but when you type in MLA, that takes part of the space. So I imagine most of these will end up being more, it will be about a page and a half assignment. So the questions that you can think about when you're responding to how the article presented the information, how biased they were, all of those bullets will guide you in what to say about the article. Make sure at the top that you include you include the author's name, the title of the article, and the website and the date where the article was presented. That's your homework, and good luck.